Hello everyone. I want you all to quickly think about your favorite childhood actor that started at a very young age, possibly even birth. It could be from Full House, The Parent Trap, the kid from Home Alone, whatever show comes to mind. Now once you have that actor in your head, keep them in the back of your mind while I persuade you why fame is bad for young children. I've personally always been intrigued at the thought of exposing a child to show business at such a young age. I can remember watching Full House when I was younger and seeing Michelle, the Olsen twins, grow from an infant to a child to an adult throughout the show, and it just blew my mind. I wanted to know how at such young ages they were supposed to be able to differentiate their acting families apart from their biological families. You see, children have a sense of innocence. I'm not meaning the kind of being forgiving, generous, and caring, but they trust us so much from birth. They depend on us to teach them everything they need to know or understand. Children do not care about money, fame, and popularity at such young ages. I feel that the parents that enroll their children into these roles at such young ages are handicapping them and doing it for their own selfish reasons. A blogger explains, a lot of the time kids are forced into acting by their parents for monetary gain and feel angry or betrayed when they catch on to the fact that they were just being used. Parents of famous children may also lose control of their behavior, especially once the child begins making more money than the parents. The parents are too blinded by the fame and money to realize that they're subjecting their children to learn unrealistic expectations of real life and reality outside of their casting roles. Films are led by a script that must be followed. If you teach a child that a script is always waiting to be acted out, they won't know how to handle real life situations when they're older. Writers and directors create films to be intriguing and mostly unrealistic. They want the views, and you would be surprised at what sells an audience these days. And back then, the writers are not concerned with the children's emotions or development throughout the script. They want the children to adapt to their idea of a good storyline. Now think back to when you were a child, as young as you can remember, and imagine if you were a famous actor or actress in a show. The pressure from your family, friends, director, casting crew, and especially the fans is all put on you to do a good job. You were pushed, especially by the fans, you were pushed to get the line and facial expressions right just before you can go home and get a good night's rest. Alpha Newberry supports my theory by saying, of course, not going to school does not prevent anyone from getting an education. Often there are group lessons taking place on the side of filming, but it is not quite the same as going to school. Afterwards, you might expect the child's school life to go back to normal. This is usually not the case. Children that act at young ages are expected to handle all of this. It does not matter if you're up all night acting in a scene because they needed the lighting right. You have to get up and go to school the next day and carry on. Children that are in show business at such young ages are exposed to many unhealthy things: drugs, alcohol, sex, all of it. We're aware of actors and actresses, celebrities. Most of them are involved in drugs and alcohol. Bumfuzzles explains, fame has its perks and might seem attractive at first. However, most people don't see the negative side. It often takes child stars down paths that leads to substance abuse, criminal charges, or jail time. Many famous actors have done interviews stating how they were peer pressured into many things like drugs and alcohol. And if it had not been for being a childhood star, they do not believe they would have substance abuse issues. So when you look back at your shows and movies and see your favorite childhood actor, just think about the hardships they have had to face in the past and probably present as well. They're expected to differentiate differences between family and friends, deal with pressure from everyone, and be exposed to drugs and substances that can harm them. Even though we enjoy a good show, is it worth harming a child's development in the process? Thank you all for joining me tonight and coming to support me. I hope we can all agree that childhood actors should be kids first and then actors.
Very good.